Hello, and welcome to Reclaiming the New Earth, a frequency first transmission for those who know we didn't come here to collapse. So, let's talk about the new Earth. I know those two words are everywhere, but they've lost their weight in a sea of filtered light codes, 5D checklists, and spiritual marketing pipelines. This isn't that. When I say new earth, I'm not talking about a place you'll be taken to once you've cleared all your karma and said all the right affirmations. I'm not talking about a gated vibrational community you get into after you've upgraded enough. And I'm not talking about some mythical future where the whole planet suddenly agrees to be kind, conscious, and perfectly balanced, as if evolution happens on a schedule. I'm talking about something else entirely. I'm talking about a timeline, a resonance, a rhythm that's already humming underneath the noise, a reality that gets felt in your nervous system before it ever gets validated by the world. The new Earth isn't waiting for the collapse to finish. It's already here, woven into the choices you're making every day. The way you speak, the way you relate, the way you decide to no longer abandon yourself just to be accepted by a crumbling structure. You don't enter the new earth through ascension. You enter it through alignment, real, present, embodied. And if you felt that, even once, you're not imagining it. You're remembering something real. This is not about leaving the old world behind. It's about living from a different one while still standing in the middle of the noise. It's not flashy, it's not always comfortable, but it's here, and it's stabilizing through you. So let's clear the distortion before we build anything. Before we talk about what the new earth is, we need to name what it's not. Because a lot of people are tired, disillusioned, disconnected from the phrase. And they have good reason to be. Because new earth has become another performance for many. It's been distorted into another system of worth, another spiritual hierarchy, another unspoken message that says, once you're high vibe enough, once you've cleared enough ancestral trauma, once you've unlearned your pain, detached from your ego, and mastered telepathic communication with your star family, then you'll be in the new earth frequency. Sound familiar? Let's be honest, it's just the old matrix, repackaged with better lighting and a galactic rebrand. It's purity culture in crystals. It's emotional bypassing dressed in white linen. It's the same performance we've been trained in, just with more metaphysical vocabulary. But here's the truth. If your version of New Earth leaves people out because they're still healing, still integrating, still human, it's not New Earth. If your version requires you to shut down your emotions to maintain your frequency, it's not New Earth. If your version makes you afraid to speak your doubt, your grief, your messiness, because someone might call you unconscious, it's not New Earth. The real New Earth doesn't require performance. It requires presence. It doesn't demand you feel amazing all the time. It asks that you stop abandoning yourself when you don't. It doesn't measure your vibration. It meets your truth. You can be angry in the new earth. You can grieve. You can forget who you are and find yourself again in the soil, in your breath, in the middle of doing dishes. There's no entrance exam, no certification, no timeline police. If you're showing up as you are and aligning your life with what feels true, even when it costs you comfort or belonging, you're already walking it. So if the new earth isn't a place, isn't a hierarchy, isn't a prize, then what is it? It's a rhythm, a way of living, relating, creating, and being that is sourced from alignment, not fear. The new earth is not an idea. It's a frequency band, one that is already online. And it's not just some energetic potential hovering in the ether. The earth herself has already stabilized this grid. It's here. It's humming. It's accessible. In stillness, in stewardship, in every sovereign yes. That's why the distortion is so loud right now. Because the frequency is active. And there are forces that would prefer it not to be. Not because they're stronger, but because they're desperate. That's why we're seeing the attempt to dim the sun, the warping of nature's cycles, the push to disconnect us from land, from body, from breath, carbon agendas that demonize life force itself. Because the earth is no longer holding the density. She's moved. She's risen. She's clear. And the moment you attune to her, the moment you put your bare feet on the ground and feel her stability beneath all the chaos, you remember. You're not waiting for the new earth. You're standing on her. The frequency is not coming. It's already here. And when you tune to it, you stop reacting. You start resonating. You become a stabilizer, a transmitter of a living harmonic that's already available. The new earth is a timeline built on stewardship over extraction, resonance over control, belonging over performance, clarity over fear, sovereignty that doesn't isolate but integrates, and collaboration that honors uniqueness instead of erasing it. It's not a fantasy. It's a functional, embodied, relational field. It begins inside your body, and it becomes real through your voice, your choices, and your refusal to collapse just because the old system wants you to. You don't need to wait for the collapse to finish to start living from a different frequency. You don't need proof, validation, or a spiritual badge. You just need to notice what's already happening in you. Because if you're here, chances are you're already living the New Earth timeline. Even if it's quiet, even if it's lonely, even if your life still feels half-wired into systems you're slowly untangling from. Here are some signs, not from the stars, but from your nervous system, that the shift is already happening. First, you're more interested in resonance than approval. You used to perform. You used to shapeshift to be understood. Now, you feel the difference between being seen and being sold to, and you're done with anything that requires a mask. You walk away from what doesn't feel right, even if it looks spiritually aligned. Second, you pause before reacting, not because you're suppressing, but because you're anchored. In the old timeline, you snapped, spiraled, or scrambled to fix. Now, you feel the activation, breathe, and choose differently. You feel it, you choose it. You don't collapse into the chaos. You steady your field. That's New Earth energy. Third, you've stopped outsourcing your authority, even to conscious leaders. You used to look for someone to follow. Now, you listen to your own field first. You still learn, receive, and collaborate, but no one sits above you on your path. That's sovereignty. That's coherence. Fourth, you're learning how to relate without distortion. You catch yourself mid-pattern. You stop before overgiving, explaining, fixing. You no longer confuse codependence with compassion. You're building love rooted in truth, not performance. That's a New Earth relationship field, even if it's just with yourself. Fifth, you feel the grid, even when no one else is talking about it. Maybe it's when you walk barefoot in the morning, or when the trees speak louder than the news, or when you feel the collective in your body, but no longer carry it. You sense something organizing beneath the noise. And even if the headlines say otherwise, you know. It's already here. These shifts may feel small, but they're not. They're architectural. They're frequency codes becoming form through your lived rhythm. This is what it means to build the new earth. Not to wait for it, but to realize you are already the structure it's being built through. So let's wrap this up. The new earth isn't coming. It's not a someday. It's not a prophecy. It's a rhythm, a lived frequency, a reality already stabilized in the grid of this planet, held by the earth herself, and echoed through the bodies of those who remember. You don't need to be perfect to walk this timeline. You just need to be present. You don't have to escape the old world. You just have to stop collapsing your frequency to match it. Every moment you choose coherence over chaos, resonance over performance, self-honor over external validation, you become the structure this reality can build on. You don't have to wait for it to be obvious. It starts subtle. It starts with breath. It starts with how you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. And it grows, because the new earth isn't built with money, power, or popularity. It's built with attention, with intention, with imagination and integrity, and a refusal to abandon what's real just because it isn't yet reflected. And now, we begin to build. The next audios in this series will take you deeper, not into more theory, but into possibility. We'll walk through real visions, seeds of what's possible when this frequency becomes infrastructure. We'll imagine communities, systems, relationships, technologies, economies, and Earth stewardship rooted in resonance, not control. Because if we don't imagine it, we can't create it. And if we don't speak it, it stays dormant. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening with your full field. Thank you for remembering. You're not here to wait. You are here to walk. You are here to build. You are here to speak what hasn't yet been named, so it can exist. And now, we begin.